Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Middle Class Reactions. Today we're going to do what I'm probably going to make my new daily quick stream, which is of the S2 Underground channel. Again, if you haven't checked this channel out, please go do it. But yeah, let's see what's going on for the day.
This is The Wire for 2300 Zulu, April 1st, 2025. Precedence is routine. Information cutoff is 2200. Bottom line up front. China undertakes large-scale military exercises in the vicinity of Taiwan. Burma earthquake recovery continues. Tesla attacks remain constant. Beginning with international events, in the Far East, China has begun another series of military exercises in the Taiwan Strait and in the waters surrounding Taiwan. Per the Chinese Ministry of Defense, this latest large-scale drill is largely serving as a, quote, severe warning and forceful containment against Taiwan independence, end quote. Throughout Southeast Asia, recovery efforts from the Burmese earthquake.
Guys, on the China thing, do y'all think that China would actually be ballsy enough to invade under Trump? I kind of doubt it. Under Trump, I don't think they will. I think they're going to showboat, but I could be wrong. They could be building up to it. I'd be curious to see.
Continue as the widespread damage throughout the region becomes more apparent. So far, the death toll has surpassed 2,719 victims, according to Myanmar's ruling military government. Humanitarian aid has been slow to flow into the region, and most areas hardest hit by the earthquake remain out of communication with the outside world. Analysts comment. Much of the region remains without electricity, which, along with the communications outages, has complicated assessments of how bad this crisis truly is. On the home front in the United States, the attacks on Tesla vehicles have continued to simmer, with limited increases in vandalism incidents in major cities. Following the uptick in these types of attacks, various supporter protest movements in support of Tesla and Elon Musk have taken root as well. Many of these supportive protests have also been met with counter-protests in most cases, sometimes resulting in clashes between groups. Over the weekend, a pro-Musk protester was intentionally struck by a vehicle of a counter-protester at a protest event in Idaho.
So here's the thing, guys. You're going to start seeing more and more in that. The left can only push so much before that kind of starts to happen, And I'm not saying I'm a fan of it, but the left does so much violent stuff like that, as far as like they'll do a protest where they block off interstates and highways, and eventually people are going to get tired of it. And I think you're going to start seeing more and more of that, especially now that we're coming into summer. The left tends to kind of care a little bit more about stuff when the weather's good. So coming into summer, it's going to be quite a bit of that going on, I would think.
Meridian Police Department arrested the 70-year-old anti-Musk protester at the scene and charged him with aggravated battery. In New Mexico, the GOP headquarters was firebombed over the weekend in Albuquerque. One of the entrances to the facility was destroyed by an improvised incendiary or explosive device early Sunday morning.
Why isn't that on the news? Straight up a literal bombing of a federal building. Nowhere on the news. Haven't seen it on CNN. Haven't seen it on MSNBC. None of those guys are showing it because it's the left that firebombed the GOP. But God forbid if a right wing or a pro-Trump or pro-Elon or anybody like that was to go bomb a DNC headquarters or something, like you would, oh my God, it'd be the breaking news for the next 3 weeks. It'd be insane.
As graffiti was sprayed at the scene by the assailants, who have not been identified. In Indiana, yesterday evening, a prominent cybersecurity and cryptography professor at Indiana University was fired after the FBI raided 2 of his residences under mysterious circumstances. Xiaofeng Wang, a well-known crypto and cyber expert, remains missing following the searches. Analyst comments for this wire. While very few
China go snatch some crypto billionaire? That would be a very China thing to do.
Details of the Indiana incident have been released or even acknowledged. Over the past few months, both the United States and China have been on a spy hunting spree. 6 Chinese nationals were arrested in the Philippines a week ago for allegedly spying on U.S. warships in Subic Bay. 2 weeks ago, China sentenced one of their researchers at an undisclosed educational institution to death for spying. As such, it's possible that this is related to Wang's disappearance after the raids. Usually, rooting out spies is a tit-for-tat affair. The Chinese bag one of ours, and we get one of theirs, or at least try to. Of note, China has sentenced all of the spies they have caught to death, while the United States obviously does not. Outside the realm of espionage, more overt actions are being undertaken to beat the drums of war in the Pacific. Though the Chinese drills in the Taiwan Strait were not announced with much notice, the maneuvers so far are largely a continuation of the same posturing and training seen before. Over the past few years, China has been engaging in increasingly complex drills as their proficiency improves. In short, the training is working, and Chinese forces are learning and gaining significant experience in combined arms warfare. Of course, the unspoken factor of war remains extremely relevant regarding any potential military campaign in Taiwan. No plan survives first contact with the enemy. In other words, China can train all they want, but when the missiles start flying for real, it will become exceptionally clear that the modern Chinese army has no real combat experience, and has no experience in conducting a large-scale combat operation or LSCO. This does not mean that China is to be underestimated, however, but it does mean that China may learn many lessons the hard way when the time comes. This concludes The Wire for 2300 Zulu, April 1st, 2025.
Yeah, guys, it's going to be one of those that I think ends up, China hadn't been in any sort of combat in the last, I don't know the last time China was in an actual, hot war. I'm not saying that it wouldn't be a fight if, the U.S. military engaged in a hot war with China, but we have been in a constant state of war for 30 years now going on, maybe with a 5-year break in there, but we've been, and we'll say we'll go on the small end, say 2 decades, we'll say. So that experience does count for something. That's it on this one, guys. Just a quick daily update as far as international stuff, and a couple domestic things going on. Like, share, subscribe, do all the things you're supposed to do, and y'all have a great night. Thanks for tuning in.